Morning, everyone. So I'm Melanie from Movement Junkie Dance Fitness Wellbeing, and I'm having a little chat this morning with the lovely Daisy Purcell of Simply Relax about my Dance Chillax class, which we both love. So we are a bit biased, but I just want to share some of the reasons why we like it. So, morning, Daisy.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Yes.
Good. So, can you tell me a little bit about when you first started to relax?
Yeah. Well, I used to live on the Isle of Wight, as you know, and that's where I met you. And I have a dance background. I've danced for years. And when I moved to the island, I didn't know where I was going to go for any dance classes. And then I know we made contact, and I thought, right, come along and start doing your dance classes. So I came and did Dance Groove and Dance Chillax, and very quickly began to realize that Dance Chillax was definitely my sort of class, for various reasons, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a moment. So that was my first introduction to it, probably about 7, 8 years ago now, I guess.
Yeah. And what is it you like so much about the chillax class? What is it that makes it different from other movement classes that you've done?
Oh, it's a bit hard to explain. It's one of those, like, you really have to try it to experience it. But for me, it's about that freedom of movement, I think. It's not you've got to learn all the steps correctly. You can just be yourself within the class. So although there is a structure that we follow, there's a lot of that freedom of movement in that. So if your body doesn't want to go into a particular place, that's fine. You just adapt and flow with it, go with the music, which is always amazing. I love the music in the class as well. And that just takes me somewhere else.
Oh, that's
So,
great.
so it's a different sort of a class, definitely, because I think there's so much more freedom within it.
Yeah. And have you noticed any particular benefits in yourself,
Mm.
body,
Oh,
mind,
definitely.
emotions?
Yeah, all of them. I think everything. Yeah. I have a bit of restriction in my body over the last few years. I've had frozen shoulders, lower back problems. But when I do the class, it seems to free up. It frees up the areas, makes them a little bit more flexible. And definitely my shoulders have improved since rejoining the class recently, since January again. So definitely seen an improvement in my shoulders, but emotionally and mentally as well. It's been a hard time. We've all been going through this pandemic, and it's been a bit of a roller coaster of emotions sometimes for me. But when I do the class, it kind of grounds me, but exhilarates me at the same time. And I definitely, without fail, I've never not done that class and not felt better afterwards. It just lifts my mood completely.
That's amazing, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah, I find that teaching it as well, that it's a class that I can walk into feeling tired or emotional from something else, and just going through that process of teaching and working with everybody in the group, shifting the body, the energy. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. So it does do that. I mean, I work in my work with energy. I'm a bit of an energy healer, I suppose. And so the I feel that energy move through my body when I'm doing the class, and I know that it's shifting and getting rid of things that I'm not really supposed to be focusing on that time. It just definitely changes your energy. Yeah.
Yeah. So originally, when you started dancing with me, we were in a studio.
Mm.
And obviously, since the pandemic, everything classes have moved online, which has been a mixed bag for people. And we've had many discussions with different people over the year about what they like and don't like about it. So, can you talk a little bit about your experience of, because now you've moved off the Isle of Wight, you're doing the classes online with me, which I'm absolutely love having you back in class. But can you
Oh
talk a little
gosh, yeah,
bit?
that's been so amazing for me, because obviously I was upset leaving the Isle of Wight for many reasons, but one of them was like not being able to participate in dancing with you. And I was very lucky to go on the retreat 2 years ago to India with you, which
Oh,
was absolutely amazing to be able to do that again, and to take part in the classes that way. So when you started doing all your classes back on Zoom, because obviously your studios were shut, it was like, wow, it's my opportunity to come back to dance and to do the dance classes I love with you. So since January, I've been participating in Dance Groove and Dance Chillax twice a week. And what I've noticed with the Dance Chillax, the comparison from doing it in the studio to doing it in my own space is, oh, it's amazing, tenfold. Because I think there's always, when you're in the studio, you always, there's a little bit of self-consciousness that takes a little while to work through, and you don't feel that you can really totally go mad and do your own thing, because you kind of think, oh, there's other people around you, so you've got to be conscious of space, but also, you're very aware that there's other people around you. Whereas when I'm dancing in my own space, I can just do what I want, and have that freedom to kind of, let myself go completely without worrying that, there's anybody else around me. And I have found that really joyous, actually. Yeah, it's been, that's been a massive change for me, being able to do it in my own space. Really has.
That's amazing, and such a positive response to what's happening in the world, where it has,
Absolutely. Yeah. Because I mean, we're all used to being in our own space a little bit now anyway, and you might think, well, you can't wait to get back out there into the real world and go into a studio again. But I don't think I'd ever want to do Dance Chillax in the studio again. I quite enjoy the fact that this is, other classes might be different, but Dance Chillax for me certainly is one that I am really, really happy doing in my own bubble, if you like.
It's a personal experience, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing. Thank
Oh,
you.
I could, what I'm like, I could go on about chillax forever. I mean, it is, this sounds a bit of a cliche, but it's not, because it has changed my life again at the moment, because I had that break, obviously, from leaving the island and then not being able to do chillax, to now being able to do it again, and just getting back into it again. It's just been mind-blowing. It's really changed me again, I think. And in a way, perhaps it was good to have the little break, because it's made me come back and appreciate it so much more, and in so many different ways as well. So I can't rave about it enough.
Oh, thank you so much for chatting this morning.
That's very fine. I mean, it's been a pleasure to share to share it, and hopefully, people. I do think though, you have to try it, because it's so difficult to explain it. So it's almost like, try before you buy. Go on there, try it.
Absolutely. And that's a really good point. And I have said to people, if you haven't done this class before, just message me and come and do a free taster session. And that way you'll know if it's the class for you.
Yeah, but I think give it more than one go though, because I think at first you could feel, if you haven't done that sort of class before, you can feel a little bit like, oh, this is a bit different, but give it a couple of goes, and then I think you'll really start to notice the differences. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Oh, thank you so much for chatting with me this morning.
My pleasure.
And I'm going to sign off here.
Okay, take care. Bye.